As Chanty stepped out of the door, a fragrant breeze greeted her, carrying the scent of flowers from her garden. It was a typical morning for Chanty, watching Minda tend to her plants. "Good morning, Minda," she greeted their gardener with a smile. Minda turned and waved back, "Good morning, Miss Chanty." Chanty settled at a coffee table on the veranda, smiling as she watched Minda work. She had just finished her coffee and cereal, waiting for her father, Don Lorenzo, a well-known landowner in their town, to emerge. Every day, her father tended to their vast land, taking care of their animals and the wide vineyards that produced wine for their regular customers in other towns. At 17, Chanty eagerly awaited her 18th birthday, the day her father promised she could venture beyond their town's borders. She longed to explore new places, as she had always been confined to homeschooling, with only a tutor visiting their home for lessons. Since her mother's death, her father had become overly protective, treating her like fragile glass. Chanty had few friends or relatives who visited, aside from occasional customers purchasing their wine. Her father occasionally took her to their winery, teaching her the ins and outs of their business. Despite being groomed to take over someday, Chanty harbored a desire to break free from the world she had known and explore places she had only seen in magazines. She believed that on her 18th birthday, she would finally attain the freedom she yearned for, although she never questioned her father's strictness. She knew he loved her deeply, and they only had each other in the world. Though she had no siblings, her loving caretakers, Yaya Maria and Minda, treated her like their own, along with their children who sometimes played with her. As she heard her father's footsteps descending the stairs, Chanty eagerly rose to greet him, already planning to request strawberries for a cake later. "Papa, are you leaving? Can you buy me strawberries? I'll make a strawberry cake tonight since we're out of strawberries in the fridge," she pleaded. Her father smiled at her, promising to bring some home. After a tight hug and a kiss on the cheek, Don Lorenzo left, entrusting Chanty to Yaya Maria's care as he headed out. When Chanty's father left, she quickly went to her room to change. One of her daily routines, especially when she had no classes scheduled, was horseback riding. She learned it from her mother before she passed away, so it became something Chanty cherished dearly. Riding around their mansion's vast yard and along the riverbank brought her solace. "Miss Chanty, Rhonda is waiting for you," said Yaya Maria, holding a large bowl on the dining table. Rhonda was Chanty's horse, cherished deeply because it was also her mother's. Chanty admired Rhonda for being gentle, easy to handle, and patient. Sometimes, she felt like Rhonda understood her, as if the horse patiently listened whenever she talked to it. "We're off for a little ride, Yaya. Don't wait for me for dinner. I already ate," Chanty politely informed Yaya Maria, grabbing her cowboy hat from near the door. Yaya Maria nodded with a smile. Chanty made her way to the stable where Rhonda was. "The weather's cooperating today, not a cloud in the sky," she thought to herself.
"Hey, Rhonda.
"Have a good day, my friend. How are you?" Chanty greeted Rhonda, gently stroking its mane. Rhonda seemed happy and excited to see Chanty, which brought a smile to her face. "Shoo, I know. Chanty whispered with a smile, understanding Rhonda's excitement. She saddled Rhonda and mounted the horse effortlessly. Chanty's beauty was unmatched, resembling that of a goddess, turning heads wherever she went. She knew her beauty might sometimes be a curse, but she chose not to dwell on it to avoid sadness. Horseback riding eased her mind and brought her joy, especially when she was with Rhonda. It felt like being with her mother again, reliving memories through Rhonda's presence.
The physical appearance of Rhonda, a horse as white as snow, perfectly matches Shanta's beauty. As Rhonda runs, Shanta's body moves in sync with every leap of Rhonda, creating a beautiful sight that seems like it's straight out of a movie. It's as if the wind is dancing through Shanta's hair with every breeze. You can see the strength of Shanta's body and the resilience of her horse, Rhonda. It's really evident that her horse is well taken care of by its owner. They circled around the mansion's surroundings until they reached the river, stopping briefly when passing through thick grass. Shanta lets Rhonda graze, while she seeks shelter under a lush Aetiles tree. From where she stands, she can see the entire view of the mansion and its surroundings, including the mansion's expansive garden. It's beautiful to behold her home, especially the garden, as it is also a legacy from her late mother, who took great care of the garden when she was still alive. Suddenly, Shanta noticed from a distance a brown horse running towards their direction. Rhonda immediately made noise and whinnied as if in distress. Shanta quickly approached Rhonda and stroked its body to calm it down. "Sure, it's okay. Rhonda, calm down. I'm here," Shanta said soothingly, while also wondering in her mind who could be approaching on the brown horse, which was getting closer to them. She sees a man riding the horse and hears him calling her name. "Miss Shanta. Miss Shanta," called out a man as the brown horse approached her. Shanty immediately recognized the man riding the horse. He was one of their workers at the winery, trusted by her father, Mang Arnold. He's also skilled in horseback riding, and the horse he's riding is from their vineyards. Arnold is panting as he calls out her name, and Shanta can see the worry and urgency on his face. "Miss Shanta, your father needs you to come home." "Your father needs you," Arnold respectfully said, using "puh" as a sign of respect for Shanta's status as his employer. There's concern and anxiety evident in Arnold's voice. Shanta's face quickly changed as she heard the news, immediately feeling alarmed without knowing why. Even Rhonda was whinnying and making noise because of the new horse that approached, although it was still at a distance from them. "Mang Arnold, what's happening? What happened to Papa? Why?" Shanta asked worriedly as she hugged Rhonda to mount it. She quickly jumped onto her horse, urging Rhonda to run. "Let's go, Mang Arnold," Shanta shouted as she rode her horse home. Arnold wasted no time and immediately followed Shanta. Shanta's horse runs faster, with Arnold almost struggling to keep up with her. Shanta's horse effortlessly leaps over large rocks and obstacles along the way. Arnold can see the admiration in Shanta's horse riding skills. He knows Shanta's prowess in horseback riding because he remembers seeing her ride horses at the age of 6. She's very skilled at horseback riding. They're on their way home, and it's already noon. They're approaching the house, and Shanta notices 3 black vehicles parked outside, knowing that they are expensive vehicles. She only noticed them now, and there are many questions in Shanta's mind that she wants answers to. Shanta looked at Arnold, her eyes questioning. Arnold just nodded in response. "Oh, Shanty exclaimed, signaling Rhonda to stop. Rhonda stopped immediately, and so did the horse Arnold was riding. Shanta and Arnold both got off their horses at the same time. They both tied their horses to their respective posts. "Wait here, Rhonda, I'll be back, okay?" Shanta said to Rhonda as she stroked its mane. Shanta took off her cowboy hat and immediately approached the large door and went inside, with Arnold following suit. Shanta looked around quietly inside the house. "Bah, I'm here." Shanta looked towards the stairs, about to go up, but she noticed 3 men standing in the living room, looking at her. She immediately approached them. As she approached, she looked into their eyes, seeing that they were staring at her with respect and formality as they stood tall and handsome, exuding a sense of respect in their aura. They're tall and handsome, and she's only seen 3 men like them physically, but only in her mind. She knows that their status in life is not ordinary based on their appearance. Shanta wonders why there are 3 men she's only seeing now in their household. "Where's my father? Where's Papa?" "And may I know who you are?" Chanty asked. "Good day, miss. We're pleased to meet you, Miss Chanty," replied the man in the middle, taller than the other two, with a voice that seemed to convey intelligence and formal respect. "We're siblings." "I'm David," said the man in the middle. "I'm Justin," said the man on the left, his voice sounding unique. "And I'm Marco," said the man on the right, smiling with joy in his greeting. Shanta nodded in response to their introduction but hesitated to approach them to offer respect and a handshake because she's only seeing them now, and they are men. She knows that they can see her hesitation. "We understand, Miss Chanty," said David, smiling with understanding evident in his words. "Please excuse me, I don't know what's happening here," Chanty replied to David. David nodded, looking at her. "Yaya Maria," Shanta called out. "Yaya." Yaya Maria immediately came out of the guest room. She slowly closed the door behind her. "Miss Chanty, come here. Don Lorenzo is inside," Yaya Maria said softly. Shanta's eyes were questioning as she glanced at the three men in the living room, at Arnold, who was standing by the entrance door, just looking at her and trying to sense what's happening. Her eyes also questioned Yaya Maria as she approached the guest room's entrance.